Welcome back, MTG Joe here. Officially, we have the anthologies on Arena. We have Explore and Historic anthologies, so we got a bunch of new cards for the format. So we're going to try some of them out in kind of existing shells or kind of new shells. So there's like the Rakdos mid-range deck, which we'll get to. We got Kalidas in that. That's probably more of a best of 3 deck, but I want to do some best of 1 runs just to feature some decks quickly. So let me know in the comments which decks you'd like to most see. But the one we're going to start off with is a mono green take on the Stompy archetype. So there's a mono green ramp, but I want to try out mono green Stompy in part because we got Elvish Mystic here. So now we have 8 1-mana accelerants. So we can pretty confidently go turn 1 elf, turn 2 3-drop. And something like on the play like an Old Growth Troll or a Steel Leaf Champion is very powerful. Lets us kind of curve out. We could potentially turn 3 Henge then. We get some value there. We're a Collected Company deck. With some top end as well. I wanted to have some mana sinks and just ways to play off the top between Henge and Vivian. We also have some Primal Mites. We're still, because we're using some creature lines, we have 28 creatures in our deck, so it's still a high density in terms of Collected Company hits. But otherwise, for the format, we have Scavenging Ooze main board to deal with the graveyard decks, like Grease Fang, stuff like that. Pack Leader for card advantage. Kazandu, we got Mana Sink and Ronus. So I wanted to kind of hedge the ability here. So I want to see how this goes, and then I'm going to try out an Abosh Gruul deck is another deck I want to see, where you pretty much cut the 2 drops, and you go 8 1-mana accelerants, then you do like Fable, Gruul Spellbreaker, Domri, Bonecrusher Giant, and then you go Gargaroth and Glorybringer at the top end. So that's something I want to try out as well. But we're going to give this one a shot. We'll see how it works out. So I'm pretty high with like a couple days left. So I'm just going to do an event. We'll see how that plays out. So the hardest thing is navigating the play bait. We got some new updates. But Explore event. Let's pay some money. Let's play some games. There's going to be a lot of decks we want to try out. Got them all kind of queued up. We will get to them in time, but let me know in the comments what deck you're most excited about as well. If you have any cool lists, been watching a bit, like the Boros kind of Prowess deck seems pretty solid. I was trying out Death Shadow with Tarmogoyf in Historic. We'll get to that as well. Okay, so I actually don't think that's a good hand, but this is. That hand, we had a lot of acceleration, but nothing to do with it, where this hand at least lets me go Steel Leaf on 2. So I can go, probably going to go Steel Leaf Champion. If they have Deadly Dispute, it's a little annoying. So thought here, this lets me continue to ramp, but then they trade with my elf. I think we do this though. Because if they have Deadly Dispute here, I feel like they would have done it main phase. And then if they have a way to trigger Revolt. So this means that this can't block. This still gets evasive damage, but they're able to kill it. But yeah, so we play around that. This lets me do this. Interesting line. Need hook for 1. So I'm going to play this out as a land because we want a Coco next turn. I think we just go Steel Leaf here. These both get hit by Fatal Push. If they also have another Meat Hook, they can go land. Gonna offer the trade here. Our stuff notably gets, like, with the Collected Company, we can play around that. So I'm gonna go Collected Company, and then I can follow it up with Scavenging Ooze. I can make the token here. Okay, so they're like mono black Devotion combo. Underworld Dreams and that, so not the best. So here, We'll just pump in some damage. So I'm gonna do this. I don't think they have Languish since they're on creatures. If they do, they do, but this sets us up pretty nice for next turn. They have another Meat Hook. They can Meat Hook for 3, but I still have Scavenging Ooze. Okay, we see Gary come down, drains me for 7. That's a big chunk. That's a great card. It's not bad. So I do need to just be mindful of my life total here. So if I do this, I do this, and then I can eat the graveyard some more. The flip side is I don't get a card draw here, but I think we're still okay. Because I have Pack Leader. So I'm going to gain 2 life off this, plus 2 life off that. Okay, so they grasp here. I think here I'm gonna do this. So they take that. A little bit of a nombo there. That's actually really good. Think we just do this and then pass the turn. We could still play around Miku. I don't want to give him the land now. Okay, so they go Lulth here. I can give Trample a couple different ways, plus I have this as an activation.
Aren't I the generous one?
All to the face, face is the place. So opponent stumbled a couple turns with lands, but largely okay. I got the pumps as well on these pack leaders. Alright, Exaxes. Good for showing. That was on a mall too. This is what I was looking for. So like even though we have a lot of these accelerants, like it gets us ahead on board, but then it also lets us use it in a way that, you know, we're fueling the ooze, we can pump the pack leader, we have henge that can chain us into stuff, we have utility lands. Yeah, anytime we can go turn 2, 3 drop, I think we keep. We also have these that give a boost. This will be interesting. So notably with fight, because it's non-combat damage, or it's non-combat damage. Okay, see second wizard there. So I have a choice here. I can go pack leader and fight. The fight will shrink it down 1, but it keeps him off a second wizard. So notably this does shrink now, so we are getting a potential for it to get shocked. This might entice them to play into that. I want to keep this around because it gets around these. Really like a henge in this matchup. Ooze is also very good here. So I'm going to do this because I want to have Ooze for when I have a lot of mana available, so I can play around things. Opponent seems to be a little bit creature flooded. And if they're wasting a lot of burn to get through my stuff, it could work out. We'll probably end up throwing away some of these. So I think we do this. So I think we just passed the turn here. So that's a bit annoying because of the life gain element of it. So we're just going to do this now. Hoping the last card's not burned. Okay, now we are flooding a bit. I just want to put pressure on them, I think. They might have flashback style effects. I should have probably popped this. Okay, so now we're racing. I think we're taking the damage here. So we got Thermo here. Thermo's going to be annoying as well. Jeez, can we draw like anything here? So let's go 5 here. Bit flooded. Collected company would be nice. The game's probably coming down to that punt with the Scavenging Ooze. Okay, that's a good one. Should have tapped there. Gotta be mindful of this. That's actually good for future turns.
Precious. Diversity is our greatest strength.
Probably gonna want to take Alchemist off the battlefield. Yeah, especially with second Soul Scar. I'm gonna go Vigilance on these.
Beauty lies in variation.
So 1, 2, 3. So that's X4. So I'm doing this because all their damage is 3 based. The way they've played out, they would have done it at a different speed. We have another fight spell for next turn, so we can take another one of these off. And now our board's wide enough that we should be okay. We have the blockers. Cool. Vivian carrying us. So that game we were elf flooded, but able to make sense of it. The Soul Scar's a little tricky. Our damage is fight based, so and they also saw 3 Soul Scar. We saw a ton of elves. Thankfully, they weren't on a Chain Whirler version. But gotta be mindful with the Ooze. Because we could have forced their life gain, but then we would have been in a weird circumstance. Yep. What did I say? Alright, Grease Fang. So this will probably be, to be honest, it's probably going to be Ooze to eat their graveyard, depending on what they play. We might go Steel Leaf. I might also just go triple Elf here. Let's see what they play. The perfect hand. So I'm just doing this to maximize mana. We needed them to not have a 1 mana spell, and particularly Lightning Axe, like if it was Fatal Push was okay. So we could get Grease Fanged here. If we can dodge Grease Fang for 1 turn, we're good. Because then I can... Okay, it's a good start. Good start. So we're just going to do this and pass the turn. So they can Blood Tithe, but I could respond to it. They don't have the mana for Can't Stay Awake yet, so we have that going. And then I could set up Collected Company for the following turn. Okay, Fable's a good start. So I want to get this outside of blood range. And I also want to get rid of the Can't Stay Awake. Another land there is actually really good. Just pass the turn here. Should be able to control their graveyard. They're going to be looking for a fatal push, but then hopefully I could company as well. Interesting to see Portable Hole get included. If you get this big enough, we could start attacking in. Wouldn't mind like a Ronus or just something with trample. That works. We'll eat the elf out of our graveyard. Again, kind of annoying. They also had like 14 cards in the graveyard. Depending how they block here, like the Stitcher, I don't think we do the trample this turn. It's gonna be like triple Parhelion now. Okay, no Parhelion. So we aren't gonna get comboed next turn. Just maximize the amount of mana we have. So they can get rid of my pack leader, but that taps them pretty low. I can then throw trample onto something. I can also just make one of these elves be something that we can fight, or like make it big enough. Interesting, so they're digging. Okay, so there goes pack leader. So X7. Should be lethal. Or at least put him at such a disadvantage. So even with a hot start, we were able to kind of overcome this. Interesting. So they're taking the down to 1. Elves. Much mana. All right. What do we get? Ooh, such a terrible card. Let's go, let's go, let's go! I think the only thing I'd want is probably another top-end card. We're getting a lot of mana, which is great, but I think we want another Vivian or like Inscriptions could be good. Gain 5 fight counters, there's a lot of utility with that. Maybe even there's the Kenra, Resilient Kenra, I think it is. We'll have to take a look at what creatures can be good. Something to hit off Coco, something to put a mana into. This hand's pretty bad. Opponent goes first. We weren't really going to be able to enable Henge that well with that other hand. Okay, this is probably Rakdos mid. Could be Greasefang. Most likely Rakdos mid. Yep. So, play out the pack leader here. Play out Troll. Most of them aren't on Kolaghan's command, so hopefully this Great Henge could grind them out a bit. I think we're getting rid of Troll here. Yeah. They're kind of hitting the nuts there. It's going to be pretty tough for us. Doing this now in case they have another Stomp. Worst case, if they go like Chandra here, it's really bad. Jeez. Hell of a draw. We're dead here. See what her draw is, but okay, maybe not. Maybe not, he says before opponent rips removal spell.
Oh, this is gonna
I think we're forcing the trade here. Could have held, but I think with this next turn I have 2 attackers in. Creatures also let me start chaining.
Today's my lucky day.
Fatal Push there is good. I don't think I want to do this, because if they kill my old growth this turn, I can just get it back the token. This might also bluff that I've collected company. I get priority from the lair of the Hydra.
Yup, you're going down.
Top opponent's deck has not been great. They did also not pass. So the thing here, they have Fatal Push regardless. So they would have been able to turn on Revolt. We won't eat here. Let's make a token. So that gives it up to 7. I think it's worth doing this. I want Chandra off the battlefield.
Whatever. Figure it out on your own.
Just getting 2 more life. We're probably going to be racing at this point. Could really use a creature. That'd be swell. Get that off the battlefield. We are getting close to dead. That's 6, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's Exacxes. Yeah, couldn't do anything. Going had a really good draw. Triple Fatal Push, Stomp, Crocs it for my thing. That matchup shouldn't be too bad. Like, they need a push. None of their other removal deals with my 4 or 5 toughness, other than Chandra, which they only have 2 of, and they curved out perfectly. Chandra also let him filter 3 lines off the top of their library, which was pretty big game. And we had to use 7 damage into Chandra. Yeah, we'll keep this. So I could have a fight spell on 2 if I want. I'm probably going to use Kazandu as a land. Kazandu might not be a land anymore. Because I could play land, I could play Pack Leader, I can fight their 2-drop. Hanger Backwalker. So when it dies, you get to create colorless Thopters for each counter on it. So I think we're just going to go wide here. Draw some cards. Ronus is really good. I can pump to get trample on stuff. So that goes up to 5. So they can tap this to put a bunch of counters. It will die. Death Touch here. They get 5, but then I can give something trample. Let's see how they decide to block here. Just let this go through. Play out another big body. Yeah. Steel Leaf. Quite impressive curve going 1, 2, 3. Get the Ozolith. Would have been handy last turn. Stone Cold Steve Austin. We got pumps here, so... That'll probably do. Oh shit, they just survive. Just survive. Attacking with the elf didn't make a difference. I was pushing through the same amount of trample damage, at least this way I kill it. Their Conclave Mentor will get really big, but I'm wide enough, so I'm not killing this anyways. So that works out pretty well. Alrighty, what are we at? 4-1? Close one to Rakdos. There's a lot of like edge cases where if we could dodge one thing here or there, we probably would have been okay, but we've also only seen one collected company in 5 games now. It was a very average collected company. Snorian. Let's try it. Would have loved an accelerant in this one. Probably blue-white control. Supreme Verdict they got. They have a lot of exile. Give it Maul, it's a good start. Obviously need to hit some lands here. That's just not going to hit lands. Just please deck land. Specifically untapped land. Anything except Lair the Hydra. Perfect. So I'm going to lead with this, because if they have removal, I can get the creature side of it. Okay, this is not blue-white control. Another line would be really good. Perfect. So lets me play around sorcery speed removal. Now, they're most likely on 4 of Wandering Emperor, is my guess. Bolt attack. Wow. I think we do that. I'm not really in a position to draw cards. Gideon of the Trials.
This is a plane worth saving. I'm going in.
See if they go in for the attack here. I think we're going Kazandu here and just taking the block. I get a card draw, regardless. I want to just take this off because it's a big enough body. God's willing. Yeah. And that works. I'm doing this just to get the card draw. I think that's fine. I want to play around God's Willing for future turns. We can deal with this Gideon now. Interesting line here. Okay, now this ain't really making sense.
It's just you and me.
I think I'm gonna be willing to just spend my turn and mana to pump into this if they want to trade. So I'm just gonna do this for the card draw. Ooze is nice. So let's see how they block here. I think it's worth it. They have no cards in hand.
Count on a rematch.
And then I can prevent Cathar from flipping. Restoration. Restoration can get back Luminarch, provided they don't play the land. Okay, so... well, they can discard what they have. We're gonna play Scavenging Ooze here. I can eat whatever they target to bring back. So we'll see what they do here. Minor full control just in case. Okay, they opt not to. Valley is fine. Yorion to hand. Eat the... so we've seen reanimation out of this, so we'll do that. It's a non-zero chance they have sweepers. But now that like our stuff just cycles, we're probably fine. I'm gonna probably just eat 2 creatures. We'll see how much damage I can push through. So I'm doing this. Wasn't gonna block anyways. Okay, so that's good. I have ways to eat their graveyard. Yorion can reset the hole to get rid of the Scavenging Ooze, but then I still have this as a follow-up. really doesn't do anything. Probably is Llanowar safe, so they can't block. They can block those two, so then that's 6, so they're taking 6. Yeah, so if I attack here, it's lethal. They block, they block, they block. Aggro elf. Got him. Got him! Good shit. Two more wins. That Rakdos matchup, I don't think we play different. None of our lines really, like, our decision points didn't matter, given the removal of how it lined up. So this hand doesn't do much. I think we mulligan. Okay, we'll keep this hand. I'm gonna hope Scavenging Ooze isn't needed for this matchup. He says as he queues into Kumano. Yeah, that other hand of no place till turn 3 wouldn't have done too well. Okay, so we see BTE drop. I'm gonna offer this. Okay, so that takes them off. They could still have Ember Cleave. Notably with Cleave now, though. Okay, so we're just gonna take the damage here. Because of this exile, it's relevant. Roberto. Fancy Pants. Cool. So they didn't have Cleave last turn. We're gonna hope they don't have Cleave this turn. Oh, come on. That's frustrating. Okay, we need to go aggro. They could spend the turn hooking up Karizev, but I can block their other creatures. They could have Stomp here. They could also have another Embered Cleave. But more likely than not, they have Stomp, so we're going to play around Stomp. Yep, just second Ember Cleave. So I hit him for 8. Hey! Henge. I can activate this and try to block. Cool. Good shit. Not one, but 2 cleaves. Just all the thickness. 4 toughness against a bunch of 2 to 3 power creatures ain't going well. Boss battle time. Yeah, I still think we've had really bad Coco hits. Like 28 creatures is a sufficient amount. Like, I know 8 of them are shitty elves, but still, like, even off that Coco hit, only hitting 1 feels kind of bad. Actually, with I want to see something. We might be able to play Realm Walker. Name elf with Realm Walker, because Steel Leaf's an elf, so there's at least 12 elves in the deck. Let me take a look. Yeah, that's fine. I can fight on 2, or I can play Ronus. See what they go with. Hopefully, like, not BTE Stomp. If I knew for sure I was going to have another land, I would, but I think just controlling their board has value here. Because if I go land, if not, I can set up with Ronus for the following turn. Can't do anything right now, so I got Elf, Troll Warrior, Ooze Knight, Elf Knight. Let's do this. Do this. If they want to trade Annex here, I'm fine. They're not getting much value there. My life total's high enough. Ha! My elves are too big. We'll take the damage. So I gotta remember this stupid thing. Let's go Vigilance here. So we'll hold off, because what I can do is I can pump a token or something, make it big enough. Coco off the top is going to be really nice. Honestly, I'm willing to make them have bad attacks. Yeah, they're kind of walking into it here. That should be GG's. Let's go get a Scavenging Ooze. Let's go. Let's see your Embercleave beat this board state. We could have Coco'd, but get the value. Maybe it was right to Coco. I just want to play cards at the top of my library. I don't think at this point there's a wrong way to slice this. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We good here, friend? Chunks attack! Alrighty, it should be 7 wins. 7 wins with mono green. Deck is legit. Legit. Sweet. Alrighty. So 7 wins with the deck. Pull it up for those to see. I mean, can't argue with results. The one of Rona seemed nice. Scavenging Ooze pulled a lot of weight there. I think we're good with it how it is. I really like this deck. Felt it was very strong. In any case, we'll catch you next time. Let me know what you think in the comments, and we'll be back with some more videos. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great one.